The relationship between the United States and China stands as one of the most complex and significant geopolitical dynamics of the 21st century, spanning economic interdependence, political rivalry, strategic competition, and cultural exchanges. The interactions between these two superpowers have far-reaching implications not only for their own citizens but also for the global community at large. Historically, the roots of Sino-American relations date back to the late 18th and 19th centuries when American traders first reached the ports of China. Over time, these initial contacts evolved through periods of cooperation, conflict, and cautious engagement. The 20th century witnessed dramatic shifts from the United States' support of the Republic of China during World War II to the Cold War-era estrangement following the Chinese Communist Party's rise. In 1949, diplomatic normalization was eventually achieved in 1979 under President Jimmy Carter, marking a new chapter that fostered trade, cultural exchange, and dialogue. In the decades that followed, China's meteoric economic rise transformed the global order. As China embraced market reforms under Deng Xiaoping, it opened its doors to foreign investment and manufacturing. This evolution led to a massive surge in trade with the United States, making the American consumer market one of the largest destinations for Chinese goods. American companies, seeking lower production costs, increasingly offshored manufacturing to China, contributing to the rapid growth of China's economy and its integration into global supply chains. However, this economic interdependence also sowed seeds of tension. Trade imbalances, intellectual property concerns, and issues related to market access became sources of dispute. The United States often criticized China for unfair trade practices, currency manipulation, and lack of transparency. These disagreements escalated under the administration of President Donald Trump, who imposed tariffs on hundreds of billions of dollars worth of Chinese imports in an effort to correct perceived trade inequities. China retaliated with its own tariffs, triggering a trade war that impacted industries on both sides. In 2025, the two nations extended a tariff truce by 90 days, signaling a temporary pause in the escalating trade conflict and opening the door to renewed negotiations. This move reflects the delicate balance each country seeks between protecting economic interests and maintaining diplomatic channels. Beyond economics, the strategic competition between the United States and China extends into areas of military presence, technological innovation, and influence over international institutions. The South China Sea, a region rich in resources and strategic waterways, remains a hotbed of disputes. China's construction of artificial islands and militarization of these features have raised alarms in Washington, which conducts regular naval patrols to assert freedom of navigation. The U.S. views these actions as attempts to alter the status quo and limit access for other countries, while China claims sovereignty and historical rights. Technological rivalry also plays a central role. The race to dominate 5G networks, artificial intelligence, semiconductor manufacturing, and quantum computing reflects broader ambitions to lead the next era of global innovation. Both nations invest heavily in research and development, yet concerns over espionage, cyberattacks, and intellectual property theft persist, complicating collaboration. On the political front, human rights issues further strain relations. The U.S. government has frequently criticized China's policies in Xinjiang, Hong Kong, and Tibet, accusing Beijing of suppressing dissent and violating freedoms. China rejects these accusations as interference in its internal affairs, emphasizing sovereignty and stability. Climate change presents a paradoxical area where cooperation and competition coexist. Both countries are the world's largest carbon emitters and have committed to initiatives aimed at reducing greenhouse gases. Joint efforts in clean energy technologies, however, are challenged by mistrust and divergent priorities. Culturally, people-to-people exchanges, education, tourism, and business linkages have fostered mutual understanding but have also faced setbacks due to political tensions and travel restrictions, especially during the COVID-19 pandemic years. The U.S.-China relationship shapes many of the key global challenges of the 21st century, including pandemic response, nuclear non-proliferation, economic stability, and the future of multilateralism. How these two powers manage their rivalry while seeking areas of cooperation will likely determine the trajectory of international relations for decades to come. In conclusion, The multifaceted interactions between the United States and China continue to influence not only bilateral ties but also the broader international system. As both nations navigate this complex relationship, balancing competition with collaboration remains a critical challenge for policymakers, businesses, and citizens worldwide.